Okay, so I hit the record button.
Okay, cool. So everything from here on out is usable.
Yep, this is the good stuff. Carter,
Okay,
do you want to give us a little bit of a lead in here, and then
sure thing.
we'll pick off. We'll just treat it as if we were kind of like out and about, at the table, around a table.
Sounds good. Okay, my friends, the times have changed and the Pitcast changes with them. I'm Carter, joined by Moss and Lorian here, each
How's it
from our
going?
respective homes,
Yes.
giving you all a quarantine edition of our humble little podcast here.
Yeah, we had one rule for doing the podcast, which was we all had to actually be at a table together. But as you said, the times have changed, and so now this is our virtual table.
Yeah, that had always been a thing where it was important that the podcast remain this, it's about the people who are here in Chicago, and about what's going on with us presently. Like as much as we would have liked to have reach out and have a rotating cast of guests, because there are so many people who are worthy of the attention and the platform. But yeah, definitely gotta make the concession, otherwise we'd be shouting at each other from across the room.
Yeah. I mean, we're relatively close to one another too. Like we're all basically within a 1 mile radius.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all in Logan Square. We're just on opposite corners.
That is true. I actually saw Lorian in the flesh not more than a couple days ago from quite the distance. I work at a restaurant in our neighborhood of Logan Square in Chicago, and I was able to beg my boss to keep the place open. Luckily, he actually owns the space, so he's not paying rent month by month, so we can kind of get by on the thinnest of margins. Like being like our position as a small business is pretty much as lucky as you can get in the restaurant biz, because pretty much every other restaurant, um, like every restaurant company has closed and laid off a bunch of workers. So I'm in a really unique and fortunate position, and I've been lucky enough to have some lords come through and order food, and that's been really great, like that show of support.
Yeah, man, gotta support local business.
Yeah,
Times are tough.
yeah. Now more than ever, I think I'm gonna order a case of beer from Hopewell, the brewery where we all kind of got together and started everything. It's yeah, it's like you can't obviously dole out money everywhere because times are hard for everyone. But if there is a place in your neighborhood that you frequented often, go and, for fuck's sake, tip them 20% at least.
At least.
Yeah.
I went for a walk on Saturday night, about a 4 mile walk down Milwaukee to Western and back. And it was quite arresting just how desolate it was on like a Saturday at, say, 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Closed storefronts, messages on the front like, we need your help, or, open for carry out only or reduced hours. And I even saw my first boarded up business recently too, which kind of, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. It's like, holy shit, like things are going to get really bad or could get really bad soon, right? When you start seeing boarded up businesses and whatnot, and what was 3 weeks ago, a vibrant Stretches city.
Yeah, it's like the loss of something familiar is what's especially chilling, knowing that when things go back to how they were, they won't be quite the same.
Yeah.
Is kind of there's this initial kind of shock of realizing, okay, this is how my life is now for the time being and for probably quite a while. And then knowing that it won't be, we won't go back to how things were in December,
Right.
it'll have changed since then. That's kind of like the new thought that's crept in within the past like couple of weeks or so, at least from my experience. And I think the three of us uniquely have had our work situation affected in different ways, right? Haven't you said that you've been like crazy busy?
Yeah, and I mean, yes, I have actually, and without getting too much into personal details on that, the pandemic has invoked a lot of what are called force majeure clauses, which are delay provisions for natural disasters, war, acts of God, like pandemic and stuff. So I've just been busy doing a lot of contractual analysis on those, and working on providing guidance to stakeholders in the company on that stuff, and then just trying to get business, because the quarter's ending too, right? Today's the 31st of March, Q1 ends. And so we're trying to get a lot of stuff done, trying to cram it in at the end, while there's still an appetite to do some business. So yeah, it's the last 10 days or so have been very busy for me, but I mean, it could get very slow coming up very soon.
Yeah, it's just interesting how the scales have tipped, just kind of depending on what industry you've happened to have been in. For some people it's it's wheel, for some people it's woe.
Yeah, I'm a grad student at Northwestern, and it's based for that. It's just like, okay, we have to take all of these classes that are in person and try to put them online and make them work. My girlfriend teaches public speaking, and so she has to try to take her public speaking class. It's like the whole point is to be in person in front of people and try to adjust it to like, all right, well, I guess I'm doing like video speeches now, and then kids upload their video speeches and then they look at them and it's like, it's a mess.
That is actually really interesting to consider, the idea of like being alone but also communicating to a large group of people. That actually would kind of, I of course don't understand all the nuances that would go into public speaking, but I think there's definitely a new skill to be taught there, certainly.
For sure. I mean, like, for example, if, just like worst case scenario, we're all doing this for the rest of our lives, which I don't think is going to happen, but you could imagine like a new set of skills would emerge. One of them being public speaking over Zoom.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's the best way of presenting, lighting, getting things across? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's not the best way to do lighting, Carter. Whatever you have going on right now, you're like in a dungeon right now.
Should I bring my lamp closer?
I think you need light in front of you is the issue, because you're being backlit, so it's like shadowed.
Well, I think it kind of maintains my kind of mysterious persona.
If we end up posting this on YouTube or whatever, we'll put a disclaimer asking for forgiveness. This is our pilot episode.
Yeah, sorry guys. I should have done this from my bedroom, but whatever. Anyway,
this is
you need to be front lit, like a soft light or whatever. What is the reflective light? What is that called?
I'll just get my roommate and have him shine a flashlight on me.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant.
Perfect. Yeah, and though our lives have changed dramatically, our desire to play old school has certainly not diminished, or magic in general. And already there have been a myriad of different online tournaments being held all over the scene. I haven't kept up on all of them or the results of every single one, but I can speak to us as Lords are hosting, what we've called the Quarantine Cup, which is a split format, 4 rounds of old school, 4 rounds of middle school, to satiate everyone's desire to keep playing.
Yeah, we just finished the 4 rounds of old school last weekend, and we just started the 4 rounds of middle school this weekend.
And I have to play both of you. Do you guys have to play each other?
I played Carter last time.
We already
in middle school. Yeah, we had the deck mirror match that was quite unsavory.
So all three of us like spiked pretty hard in old school. There definitely was no amount of like, oh, this is just a little online tournament for fun. It's like, well, okay, this is where I can get my kicks. Well, fuck, I'll win this one.
Knives out immediately.
It's definitely knives. So, Moss, how come you decided to pick the deck up?
Well, I get a hankering to play. When I say the deck, it uses the mirror ball variant and a little bit more burn, which I don't think is as good as the version you had. I mean, I also lost in our mirror match, so maybe it's just bias there. but it feels a little bit more combo-y. But I just decided to play it. I don't know, like I get a hankering to play some hard control now and then, so why not? I don't know. That's not a very good reason, but it's like once a year, I just want to try it out.
It's like you like to take the Cadillac out at least every once in a while.
Yeah.
I pretty much took Danny's exact list from Lord's House and decided to play it.
Yeah.
I was playing Esper Good Stuff, which I've been fiddling with a little bit. I took it to Lord's House, and man, once you start playing a bunch of restricted cards, it's so hard to go back.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't want to play pink aggro again. No. I want to just be like Ancestral, Time Walk, Mind Twist you. Like,
yeah.
That's so good. And I get to play with Savannah Lions. It's like everything I want.
Okay, so you're not playing the Skies version. You're playing the like.
It's like Skies with 4 Savannah Lions.
Oh, okay.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So 4 Lions, 4 Dib, and then 2 Sarah Angel main deck, 1 in the board.
When
or go ahead, Moss.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that you also are playing a decent amount of counter spells in your list, right, Lorian?
Yeah, like 5. I've seen lists that play more, that play like 7, but yeah, I'm a little hesitant to play a full set of the actual counterspell because the mana is so bad. Like, I think I have 13 sources or something. So I play 2 counterspell, 1 mana drain, and 2 power sink. That works pretty well. But man, like getting double blue consistently, maybe in a long, like, if you're playing against control, but if you're playing against aggro and they strip you, like, you're not getting a double blue. Not often.
Yeah, I think this is a reason why a lot of those types of decks are splashing red for Lightning Bolt, because you have a more proactive card. Have the counters been good for you? Like, have they protected a Serendib at like a crucial? Have they tagged?
They just stop all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so before that I was playing the 4 color with Lightning Bolt and like Fireball, and my mana is much more consistent with just the 3 color version.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing 3 Mishra's Factory, 3 Strip Mine. But yeah, I love it. The mana is much more consistent. I mean, I don't want to strain the mana base too much with a bunch of double blues, but yeah, the counter spells have been absolutely great. Like, stop all kind, like you just get a threat down or whatever, and then you stop whatever they're doing, or you counter their him or counter their Mind Twist.
Yeah, when I first started playing in Chicago, one of the early decks I had was Esper Good Stuff, but it was a Skies version that used 4 Dibbos and like 3 Sarah Angels and a moat or 2. And that, I don't remember. I don't think I had factories in it because I had the moat. So it was just like strips for the brown lands. And just like you said, you're just trying to play a Dib or a Sarah and just back it up. And I played a more counter heavy version where I had 4 counter spells, mana drain, and a couple of power sinks. I think it was the 7 counter version. It was a little bit heavier into blue.
Yeah, so you're probably looking to counter a couple plays, then play a threat. Maybe they remove that. Then your second threat gets backed up with actual counterspell. Yeah,
or sometimes you can just go turn 1 Dibbo, and then just try to ride the lightning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because you look at a deck like Aaron West's Scheherazade deck that Bob and Raja played at Lord's House.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a Savannah Lions Dib deck, but they're also playing the Order. Lorian, are you at all close to trying to stick Orders in there to have a more robust creature package?
No, I mean, Order is super powerful. It's a big reason why White Weenie and Pink work. Again, I just think it's an issue of having that consistent double white. Like, I don't really understand how these decks are doing well consistently. I would guess, I don't know. They must be mulliganing to Oblivion, getting really lucky. I mean, like, maybe you can drop it, like, I think Sarah Angel is reasonable to cast like turn 5, turn 6, and maybe that's when these decks are casting Order, and they're using them. I've seen them in sideboard, so maybe they're using them as protection against the Abyss. But turn 2 Order in a 3 or 4 color deck is going to be almost impossible. Like, or not almost impossible. It's just going to happen 40% of the time or whatever. It's just not going to happen that often.
Yeah, I've also felt like mana in those types of decks have been kind of finicky. and yet it seems like when you play against it, like the Savannah Lion comes down, and the Order comes down, the Dib.
Well, it's
Bolt
like,
comes down.
are guys not playing City in a Bottle? Because that card annihilates that deck, right? The mana base and the Dibos.
Yeah, are you kind of priced into playing 3 or 4 Cities of Brass? Yeah, I mean,
Probably 3
I
minimum.
certainly would be playing City in the Bottles if I saw a playset of Dibs.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's the thing I don't understand is the list that I was looking at that I based my Esper list on. It was playing, I think, like about 9 sources of white and 9 sources of blue, and it was playing 2 cities, and it was playing City in a Bottle in the board. So it seemed pretty well protected against City in a Bottle. But again, it's like, how is this person ever casting these spells consistently? I don't know.
There's also a deck that's been called the Boyle deck after Mr. Jordan Boyle, who I got a chance to meet at Chalice this year, who plays a blue-white deck with a bunch of counter spells, but also fits the full playset of Flying Men in there. So he's got Savannah Lions, Flying Men, and Serendib as his creature package. So a little bit softer to bottle, but it seems like Flying Men might be the move if you want like more threats and a smoother curve, like what you were saying.
Do they do unstable mutation too, or?
I don't think so. I think it's just a bunch of like swords, disenchant, counter spells, Flying Men, Savannah Lions, Dib, and then probably that black splash, which is pretty free at that point, I would say.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about old school decks. It's like there really shouldn't ever be like a true 2-color deck, because by the time you're putting that many duels in there,
You
like
just
you
add
need the cities and you just have the black.
You just add 2 select black cards and you're good to go.
Yeah. If you're terrified of Blood Moon, then maybe you don't do it. But
you probably could like play like a Plains and an Island instead. But I would probably argue that the Tutor of the Twist would give you more wins on average.
Right, than worrying about being better against Blood Moon. I agree.
Yeah.
So how did your Esper deck do then, Lauren, in the Quarantine Cup?
It did well. I went 3-1. I lost against Matt Braun's land tax Ivory Tower deck.
In an untimed match.
Oh yeah, no, you know that I
He's
you
our
know
guy.
that I conceded both of those games. He did not.
You
win.
did.
He did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I conceded.
I played against Raj, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I played against this dude, Matt Braun." And like he was just going on about how long the round was, and he like refused to give up, and he was just like stuck in that meat grinder.
Yeah, God bless him. He loves playing complex decks and wearing you down. I was like, for me, the second game he beat me 2-0. In the second game, I was just sitting there like, I'm really not enjoying this. He's probably gonna win. He's probably like 80-85% to win. I'm just gonna concede. Do something else.
If there's ever a guy who gets the extra percentage points from an untimed round,
Yeah, dude.
it's that guy. It's kind of like, yeah, that's the best.
Raj, when I played against Raj, he was on blue-red control featuring Ali from Cairo and Spectral Cloak. And like game 1, I just couldn't figure out what the hell he was doing, because he had this Ali sitting there. And I'm like, well, I don't really give a shit about Ali. I got 1,001 ways to blow him up when I need to. And then I was just, I was always a card or 2 ahead of him because I had tomes out or whatever. And I eventually, how did I end up blowing him up? I think I just straight up disenchanted the cloak and then swords the guy or something stupid like that.
Super
But
disrespectful.
Yeah, right. A double whammy. But like I couldn't ever figure out what he was doing. And then I'm like, so what's going on? And he's like, oh, I've just got that in there to like protect me or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. Sick diversion. Cause like we went into game 2. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. He had like some bolts and counters and an Ali.
This is why I was so surprised to battle Raja in the finals of Lord's House, because he's a great player, but he always plays awful decks. So it was kind of cool to see like, oh yeah, when you want to battle, but Raja, most of the time he's going to be showing up with Lich. He's going to be showing up with Aladdin's ring or Ali from Cairo.
I don't know, man. The first time I ever played him was at Eternal Central 3, or like 2 years ago. It was 3 Eternal Centrals ago, because one just happened, and he was on Reanimator. all in Reanimator, like a Jaco list basically, and crushed me.
That's still quite the stew, is Reanimator.
I guess it's more of a stew than
Yeah.
deck.
Okay, so this just in breaking news here. Our dearly beloved Marty Selenius might be logging in. True to form, he thought he had the time zone wrong. So
Is he in Arizona? Is that right?
yeah.
That's right.
He's out in the desert. So
hopefully he joins this mid episode here. It'll be great to hear what his life is like. Probably many communions with nature. He has much easier access to beautiful places than we do. Man, if I had a car, boy, I would take it up to Wisconsin, man.
Dude, I drove on Sunday morning. It's rare that I drive for pleasure. Oh, there he is.
Oh my God. Connecting from a
potato.
From a potato with two toothpicks sticking out of it.
You're gonna need more tinfoil on the antenna, my dude.
Is he coming through for either of you?
Oh boy. Nothing. Yeah, no, he's immediately frozen in time. Where are you, dude? The moon?
Oh, God, I'm right there.
It looks like he's running top speed.
Yeah, dude.
Or something.
You're gonna try to log in from a fucking mountaintop, dude?
You know I'm a Wi-Fi guy, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting closer to service.
I can literally see your brain up your nostrils.
Hold it closer to the sky. You'll.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, dude.
Slightly better.
Oh, this actually is better. Okay, you were outside and a minute ago.
Still outside.
And now you're inside?
Yeah, and I'm hanging out with this fucking guy.
A hound? A faithful hound?
A hound, yeah, a faithful hound. It does nothing but sleep, whine, eat, and
Mordenkainen's faithful hound.
Yeah.
Holy hell, you shaved your beard.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Wow.
We'll definitely have to release the video. Otherwise, this part of the podcast will make no sense.
Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah. No, I haven't been this clean shaven for probably 10 years at least. So It's been a while, yeah.
Was it when you applied to your job 10 years ago?
No.
That's when he applied to his woman.
Yeah. No, I don't remember the last time I was. I know it's like I can't remember it. It's been that long.
Wow. Did you look at yourself in the mirror and think, fuck, I'm old?
No, actually it was the opposite. I was like, damn, I look good.
Yeah. I look like a young buck. What about you, Lorian? Lorian also, in case we don't release the video, is always sporting a beard.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Maybe like 8 years or something. 8 to 10 years.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Man, it's so easy. When it grows out, it doesn't itch at all. You know, if you ever get that itch from like your facial hair being a little too long, it stops itching. It's so easy to take care of. And like, especially right now, I'm a little chubby. If I were to cut this,
hey man, winter, it's all right.
Yeah, I would look younger for sure, but I would also look a lot more ridiculous. Like this beard covers up a lot of my imperfections. Yeah. I got like three little chins just all in a row right here.
Chinny chin.
Plus you're a ginger, so you really don't feel anything, right? No soul, no feelings.
Yeah.
That's just what they say to abuse us.
Charlie, what's shaking in Arizona, dude?
Yeah.
I got no job. So right now I bought a truck so I could take it up to Michigan. And it's in pieces right now. So I went out to go work on it. The people that I'm working on it with don't have work either, so they're working on my truck. But I thought I had another hour before I had to do this. So I was about to mix a cocktail. I'm like, sit down for a second.
Nah, man.
Too late calling you out, kid.
Yeah. What kind of truck is it?
It's a 73 Ford F-250 4x4.
Oh man, a classic.
It's called a Highboy. Yeah, it's a fucking monster. But I bought it from a dude who's like the same kind of dude where you sit down and chat with him, and within 30 seconds he's talking shit about the government and like how you need to build like your own bomb shelter type stuff, right?
Yeah. That seems to be in vogue these days.
Yeah, this is really prepper's delight here.
But it's supposed to be like my get out of town vehicle, and like move into the freaking forest and be away and off the grid. And I'm like, one fucking year too late.
Yeah, man, you waited too long.
I
Well,
know.
you have
You were busy getting bald in Genoa, and now we're gonna have to hook you up to a B-side respirator. You're gonna have to share one with. We're gonna have to share one with Carter.
Just hook it up to like an old like sewing machine with a foot pump, and you could just like.
Yeah.
Listen, it'll be fine. I don't really breathe that much in general.
We'll get you an iron lung, dude.
Well, now you have a quest. You know what I mean? You've got to get the truck repaired. Then you got to go to the next location. It's like
Exactly.
they could film a show about you.
Yeah,
Or a
well, I was
video
supposed to
game.
go through Chicago too.
Or a
but
video
Chicago's going to be like ground zero.
Yeah, you don't come through here, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
my
better
guys
than
are
New
the same
York.
thing.
It's much better than New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what the hell to do. I was supposed to drive through there and pick up like a potbelly stove and like some other essentials to build. And now I'm like, should I just fucking skip it and go straight to the island? I don't know.
To the
You can probably
island.
keep your distance. It's probably fine for you to come into Chicago. Just keep your distance from people. Watch everything that they give to you. You know, just
Yeah, you guys look okay, man. You don't have like boils growing on your face or anything.
Not
weird
yet.
like that.
Not yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm glowing, bro.
there's an incubation period.
It's gonna be like I Am Legend. It's just gonna be like Moss, Carter, and Lorian hanging out on the rooftop somewhere.
At the very end, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of incubation, everyone, you know how everyone's trying to give money to like the local business. Me, I'm trying to give money to my tattoo artist. Now, obviously, her studio is closed down, so I'm trying to convince her to like tattoo me in her apartment. I'm like, I want to kick you some money. You know what I mean? It could be like 2-3 like more months. Like, let's do it. She's like, I don't think so. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you in a week. Let's try to do this.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
wait for her to get really desperate, and then maybe she'll give you a tattoo.
And I'll
Yeah,
be
there
like,
you go.
let's do it. Half price.
Yeah, dude, trade it for like toilet paper and sardines or something like that.
Yeah, I'll just bring over a truck full of toilet paper and be like, let's do it. Buzz me down.
Did you stock up, Charlie, on provisions? Or you guys aren't really doing shit out in the desert, are you?
No, but people still freaked out, and people are still freaking out. Like
Yeah.
the weirdest part was Sogard. So like people thought, I don't know what, like it's a flu, so I'm gonna get a bunch of TP because I have to shit a lot. I don't know, but like I don't know, like that's all past. But now it's like I went to the supermarket and all the bananas are gone.
Yeah.
What do you do with bananas that go bad in like a week? Same thing with like eggs. Like I don't know if people are like eggs and like flour, so maybe people are like making their own noodles because you can't buy noodles at the store. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chicago's starting to be restocked. I went to a big Jewel the other day, and a couple weeks ago, it was like they were out of eggs, out of a bunch of stuff, and they're at least doing a little bit better. Like the eggs are still gone, but at least they have potatoes now, and the pasta section isn't just completely raided.
Yeah.
I'm already sick of pasta, but I've been eating well, dude. I braised short ribs with red wine and
Good deal.
thyme
What is that?
over
Is that
mashed sweet
leftovers from your restaurant?
potatoes. I've been doing pork chops with apples, grapes, ginger. Take a whole pork shoulder, hit it in the slow cooker, make chili. Oh yeah,
Yum.
baby.
Because you
My
got it
s-
all day, huh?
Yeah,
I
right.
got it all day. I got
My
nothing
skill
else.
is I've been working on my omelet game, and I've got a pretty good omelet going right now.
Still
So,
cooking right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's smoking, it's smoldering over on the stove.
Yeah,
Not
a
literally
hard
this
omelet.
fucking instant, no, but in the mornings, yeah.
Yeah, Marissa has been doing the cooking. She actually made beef bourguignon, like a classic French recipe. So
Yeah, there you
Marguerite,
after
no.
this podcast, I'm eating that, and then I'm on like shopping duties and
Nice.
taking out the trash and
That's where
doing
that
all that
extra
manly
chan's coming
shit.
from, dude.
What's that?
That's where extra chan's coming from.
Yeah, it's good. I'll definitely eat a couple portions.
Yeah. He's feasting while he can. Feast and famine.
Oh, dude, that I have not been thinking about. I've just been eating whatever the hell that I want. But I've
Yeah.
also been running, and
Yeah.
I ran on the 606 like the day that Chicago.
When it was
Or
packed.
no, right the day before Chicago closed
Yeah.
it down.
I
So
went the day
606
before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a public park on what used to be an elevated train track, kind of like the High Line in New York. Very pretty, but of course, like the one nice day, it was stuffed full of people. I'm jogging, and then a day after, we get told at the 606 and Lakefront have been closed down indefinitely.
And that's the day you got the coronavirus.
And that's why I'm staying inside my house, I guess.
Yeah.
I just jogged past people, but there was some guy who sneezed on me, but I didn't think
Swoops.
anything of it.
Sneezing is not typically a sign of it.
Yeah, I thought that was just a show of affection.
All right. How about we get back somewhat on track? No, I mean, there's no real hard and fast itinerary here, but I do, Lorian, want to touch a little bit on that March Mayhem thing that you guys did down at Jaco's place. I ended up this was kind of before the shit really hit the fan, but kind of as it was hitting the fan.
You could see the writing on the wall for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone bailed. Did you guys do like a 2v2? What the hell happened?
Well, I
had a
bailed.
giant.
Yeah, I bailed on it.
Yeah, so it was on March the 14th on a Saturday. And I think, I don't know, some kind of quarantine in Chicago came out, I think, on a Monday or something. So
Yeah.
So you could tell. So anyway, it was supposed to be a 24-person tournament, 3 rounds of old school 96. So that includes up through Mirage, and then 3 rounds of middle school.
Mirage the set, not Mirage block, correct?
Yes, Mirage the set. Yes, exactly right.
That's pretty fucking cool.
It was fun. I mean, so it was supposed to be 24 people. 6 showed up, and I was pretty nervous about it going into it. But like as I saw,
If you're gonna still top 8,
yeah, exactly. Guaranteed top 8, baby. That EV play.
Did they still have most creative top 8?
They did not. There were
AKA
no
the Charlie
prizes.
bracket?
Yeah.
Oh goddamn it! Yeah, 2 and 4 bracket, dude.
Charlie 2 and 4. Well, I hope people think my deck is cool.
Oh, fuck you.
No, you because you presently have bragging rights over me after.
Charlie is the only
California,
dude I
you
know that
fucker.
can consistently go 2-4 while running the entire Power 9.
I have not had that in like a year. That's bullshit.
Oh, Charlie, I've been licking my chops to get you on this cast for a long time, baby.
Just so you can shit talk him.
Oh yeah, right to his
Why, like,
face,
for
right
some
to his
reason or another, I
digital
always
fucking
miss.
face.
That's not even your face that I recognize anymore.
I
It's
know,
just
yeah,
like
it's a different. It's just a stranger that appears out of nowhere and
Yeah.
just rakes you over the coals.
dude, I didn't even know you had teeth.
Oh, my teeth are straight as fuck, son. I don't want to hear that. My grill
Anyway,
is in good ass shape.
old school 96. So we're brewing for this format. What are we thinking?
What's that?
Old school 96. We're brewing for this format. What are we thinking about doing?
Yeah. So
Force of will.
the Force of Will, right? You get Force of Will from alliances,
You do.
and then you also get Enlightened Tutor and Mystical Tutor from Mirage, and none of those 3 cards are restricted. So what I was thinking was, well, I want to play 4 Force of Will. I want to play 4 Mystical Tutor so I can Mystical Tutor for Ancestral and Mind Twist and Balance. I mean, when you have like a virtual 5 balances in your deck, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And Enlightened Tutor is also good because Necro is also not restricted in the format. So I ended up brewing an Esper Necro deck, and I decided like the best way is just to play all these restricted broken cards and then have as few win conditions as possible. So basically, 2 Mirror Universe, 2 Drain Life. It's easy to get low on life. Just using Necro naturally, you switch life totals, and then you Drain Life them. Along the way, you're Mysticaling for Mind Twist to strip out their whole hand. You're playing main deck Hymns.
You would, you fucking savage.
It was awesome, man. It went 3-0. It was so much fun. It was just like nonstop tutoring. I mean, it's ridiculous. Those tutors should be restricted for sure. There's no,
Yeah.
but it's just such an untested format. Jaco just wanted to let it play out.
Did you guys anybody use Lines Out Diamond?
Oh no, I don't
Yeah,
think
that
so.
would've
I
been
don't think
fucking
anybody
sick.
was playing on that.
No,
That would've
nothing
been
was like
sick.
reanimating with the Lines Out Diamond. Nothing.
No, there was
Because
There's
that
no
would have been
cards
unrestricted too. Nothing from Mirage or Alliances was restricted.
Yeah.
yeah.
The only kind of new card that was restricted was, I'm guessing, Mana Vault, Demonic Consultation,
Mana Crypt
or Mana Crypt,
and
Yeah,
DC,
yeah, yeah.
and that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah, but DC was already restricted from 95.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already decided after a couple 95 tournaments that Demonic Consultation is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like in a 4 Mystical Tutor format, you don't even want to play DC.
Oh, no,
like it's
you
not
just
even in
play
my
your-
deck.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just play your tutors. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it seems like a race to resolve Necro. If you're the first person to get the Necro down, then you can just balance it. Yeah, it seems like there's a couple cards that matter and a whole bunch that don't.
Yeah, my favorite play of that whole series was I think I can't remember the exact sequence. Basically, I had a Zeranorb out. I sacked all my lands. I balanced against Jaco. He was playing Reanimator. So I got all of his lands. I got all of his reanimation creatures. I gained a bunch of life. And then I had Necro out. So then I just refilled my hand and kept going.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, Zeranorb. Zeranorb is so inconspicuous, but so busted.
It's insane.
It's a
great
classic.
in that format. Yeah. It's good in middle school, too.
It's a stone cold classic. The deck that I built for 96 and tested against Lorien was also Esper, but it was Esper Dreadnought Illusionary Mask Necro. So it ran, and it had Enlightened Tutors to go get the mask or the knots. And again, like I said, I ended up dropping just because of concerns. I didn't go to that event, but I tested that deck a little bit and it was insanely powerful. I had turn 2 Dreadnought usually by turn 2, 3 at the latest. And it was
those games were really fun.
usually
Tressorhorn
2.
too?
No, I just went Esper. I didn't have the red to make the Tressorhorn.
Okay. Still.
But so yeah, I got to test that against Lorien. You won most of the games, didn't you? Like say 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 7, whatever.
Yeah,
in our testing.
I think once I kind of figured out what was going on, I did. I mean,
Yeah.
it was terrible for me because if you landed the Dreadnought, I was probably already at 12 from Necro. So
Yeah.
it really only took one hit. Or you would
Yeah.
hit me with it, and then I'm Necro locked.
But, yeah.
And actually, because of those games, I put in a main deck Disenchant.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't playing any before. So I put one main deck, which with Mystical Tutor again is
Yeah.
consistent.
Remember that game we had? Remember that time? No. Remember that game?
Remember back when?
We both got necro locked and just had to stop.
Yep. We were both at like 2 life or 1 life or whatever, and we're like, "Well, I can't do anything. Well, I can't do anything." And
Yeah.
That's putrid.
Dual necro lock ends in a
Well,
draw.
let's count the number of cards. Oh wait, no, you skip your draw stuff. It's truly a draw.
yes, it is a true draw. Like you cannot do anything.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We were both
That's
at 1.
So horrid.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what other decks? So you were on the Esper Necro, and you said Jacob was on Reanimator. What were the other decks?
Reanimator. Tim was on. I think it was like a green-black Necro version that was running 4 Drain Life. That was like his main way to win. He wasn't on Mirror Universe. It was more just like multiple Drain Lives. And then I think he's also splashing red and maybe blue as well, just for like some sweet one-ofs.
Sure.
Matt Braun was on just like a red-blue stew. I didn't see a lot of what was going on. Like he basically just had some counter spells and some bolts, but I kind of ran over him. And then I don't know about the other people because we still ended up doing 3 and 3. So you had to play the same opponent at least once across the 2 formats. So we had 3 rounds of old school 96, 3 rounds of middle school.
Yeah. How did the middle school side go? What'd you play for that?
Mono black, zombie, suicide black, storm.
Okay.
Is that different from what you were playing earlier? You were playing something like Mono Black as your other deck besides Psychotog for a while.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of decks. I played that deck in Middle School Marauders before, and I went 1 and 2 this time. I think both the games that I lost. No, I got crushed by Stifle Knot.
Ooh,
that is a terrible matchup.
Ooh.
He was a new guy. He was one of the guys who actually like drove in for it. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a good guy. But he just like that matchup was so terrible for me.
That's a sick deck.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of fun.
That's a Sanders special too.
Yeah, I think it was blue-white or blue-red. Yeah. It was it was good though. It just like completely shut me down. I went to 3 games with Jaco. He was on I think it's called Cocoa Pebbles, right? It's the Enduring Renewal Goblin
Bombardment.
Yeah, the Necro version is with
Form of the Dragon.
Yeah.
And Fruity Pebbles is the blue version. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got me one game with I think it was game 3 of Form of the Dragon.
That's a really cool deck, man. It's hard
Yeah.
to play. It's hard for me to play, but it's enjoyable. It's a puzzle.
You didn't say it's because you're remedial. You didn't drop that in there.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
It's a poor craftsman who blames his tools.
Yeah, no,
I didn't win
I'm
with
not-
it, so the deck is awful.
Yeah, I'm not good. I'm not good to play that deck. There's a lot of counting going on, and I can't count past
How
whatever.
many toes you got?
Yeah.
Like, 10.
Yeah, have you guys faced anybody who's got a good elves deck, or any of you guys got a good elves deck?
I remember playing Bob,
Yeah, Bob had one.
who I'm sure found an elves deck from someone.
Yeah, I mean,
because we all know that Bob didn't come
Yeah.
up with it himself.
No chance
But
in
yeah,
hell.
Gaia's Cradle. There's that guy. He's like what's his name? Kamal, Fist of
Kamal, yeah.
Mr. Crosa, yes.
Kamal, who overruns, and yeah, essentially the deck just like makes a ton of mana, natural orders for a Kamal, and then
Yeah,
kills you.
yeah. I'm getting Chris Burgeson's set of gold bordered Gaia's Cradles.
Oh,
You
swooped
were
underneath
the
me,
guy
you
who
son of a
bought
bitch.
him. I
Yeah,
see.
so I'm going to try some brewing in that space.
I'm gonna mail you a bag of the dog's turds for getting those underneath me. I
Sick.
saw those things too. Yeah, I responded like 5 hours after he posted.
I
that.
see the pandemic hasn't stopped your purchasing of Magic cards.
It's limited. That was probably the last biggie for a while. Actually, I do want to specifically thank Charlie while we've got him on here for helping me finish that play set of Rush signed Kraviken Horrors, dude. I appreciate your help on that.
Yeah, dude, that was funny because I was just looking for whatever, and I kept on finding them. I was just like browsing Facebook, and then saw
Yeah.
some dude way out in the middle of nowhere country had one.
Well, I started blasting the airwaves looking for him, so everybody's like, "Hey, I heard this guy's buying out all the Rush signed horrors."
Go from $25 to $250.
Yeah, baby.
And
Just
there's
like,
only
like-
probably 8 on the planet. Like, who the fuck would get that card signed?
yeah, I would. Card's sick, man.
I'm like,
You're
if this
gonna
shit continues for another couple months, I'm probably gonna huck my power. Fuck it.
Yeah,
That bad, huh?
It'd be a sad day, but yeah, I mean, you know,
it ain't going to stop you from playing the game. I mean,
Rev-
we'll get to this in a moment, but like our Q cup and our rotisserie, we'll get to Dom's rotisserie chicken in a minute. But I mean, we're playing fully proxied on that, or proxy allowed on that.
yeah.
Is that
if
what
that-
you got unglued everything in there, dude? And like some swords of plowshares from Commander.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, Moss's deck was downright disrespectful.
Yeah, we covered our decks from the old school side, Charlie, while you were busy fucking around figuring out what time zone you're in. But no, I played a few choice reprints in my deck, like my Full Art Island and my Eternal Masters Factories and a few other stinker reprints.
Putrid, but I also love it.
Oh,
Charlie,
yeah.
are you playing in the quarantine cup?
No, this is the best access I have to anything that has video and audio. I don't have a mic, and my laptop is from 1974. So I just I haven't set anything up. I was living out of my car for a while, so it's like, how am I gonna I'm not gonna go to Starbucks and log in and like set up a table and like play
Yeah.
some game.
Well, yeah, there's definitely no going to Starbucks now.
No shit,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That makes me. I was thinking about this the other day, Carter. But it's like, you know, I used to have a pretty voracious going around getting coffee habit where I would just hit up coffee shops all the time. And now it's like, I'm not out and about doing that, but I'm also just completely used to brewing my own coffee now. So it's like, is that a habit that's going to come back, or is this?
Dude, I would go to a coffee
normal,
shop
or-
tomorrow if I could.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to get out of the house. I want to
Yeah.
just like be around other people. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
drink somebody else's coffee that doesn't taste like mine. I mean, I like, I
Yeah,
have a French press and all that, but I like getting out of the
I want
house.
to get
so-
some exercise too, you know.
yeah.
Coffee has become, because so many of the coffee shops have closed down, including the people who we buy coffee from, this company called Ibsento. So somebody
yeah.
from Ibsento called me while I was at the restaurant a couple days ago and goes, hey, you know, both of our brick and mortar places have closed down. We've got 20 pounds of the coffee that you guys buy from us
Oh wow.
in like a trash can. You get like, do you want it? And I'm like, yeah, sure, bring it over. So there's just like stacks and stacks. So coffee has now become like a not very precious resource for me at least.
Dude, Carter, can you like bag that up and just sell it? Will they allow you to do that, or?
You could bag up drugs
I
and pack
did
it with coffee.
have somebody come by the restaurant. So it's so funny. People will still come into so my cafe. We don't have an espresso machine. It's just not tenable. There's not enough space. It's like it's a lot of money, and since sometimes it's just 1 to 2 people working, it just wouldn't work. But there's still people who like walk from door to door asking for a latte. It's like, dude, you're not going to be able to get a latte no matter where you go. Every single place is closed down.
Is Intelligentsia closed?
It's all closed. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Unless it's drive-through. Is that what?
I'm like, I'll sell you a deli container full of beans if you want. He's like,
You can do pickup in Chicago. It's not just drive-through. You can walk into places.
Yeah, there's carry out.
You can walk in and order carry out.
So you can still get a latte at like Starbucks or get like some sort of BS drink at Dunkin' Donuts?
Well, I don't think any of those places. I know Starbucks is closed, right?
Dunkin' is open next to me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good for them.
Not the same, but still.
Uh,
I feel like we haven't gotten hit like that here. You can still walk into places and pick up food. You can still like grab drive-through at Dunkin'. Starbucks, you can still walk inside. They just pushed all their tables off to the corner. We didn't get that call for self-quarantine stuff.
Well, it's coming, dude.
That was yesterday. Yesterday was the first day.
Yeah,
but
it's just a function. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, restaurants have been operating differently. So there's some, and so I assume that there's going to be like a policy across the board that the state is going to run down. Like I'm sure every restaurant that's going to continue to be open, people might even need to be retrained and get a new what's called a Serve Safe certification.
Yeah.
But so yeah, some restaurants like they won't even let you walk inside. Like they crack the door open for you, and some gloved hand reaches out and hands you a bag of food. But my restaurant, it's like there's like a barricade between like with tables, between people who come in and the rest of the restaurant. So I'll walk in, I'll just drop people's stuff off at a table, walk away. But I'm sure that there will be some sort of like across the board type policy pretty soon.
Sure.
Do you wear like a physical sneeze guard, like shoulder harnesses with like a piece of glass in front of you and like hand stuff to people? So that
they have them at the grocery store now at Tony's. They installed like big glass panes between you and the. I don't know if you've been to Tony's. That's like our local grocery store recently.
That's great.
Yeah,
they
definitely did.
Yeah, they've got it at Food Smart behind me too.
I mean, especially for me, like I spit when I talk for sure.
So. Oh, I know that. And I'm not talking about spit and fire, spit and phlegm.
You're talking about spit takes.
Yeah.
When I school you on old school magic.
Spit and nonsense is more like it. Speaking of nonsense, that's a perfect segue, Carter.
Oh, that's a lovely segue. Yes.
To a Dom's rotisserie draft.
So Dom, first off, let me just say one thing about Dom, is that
one thing
when he moved away, he totally stopped posting in our Discord. It's like radio silence from the guy, right? Yeah. Ever since he becomes a big hotshot doing who knows who in New York. Now he drops back into our Discord and is like, guys, I've got a great idea. Rotisserie draft, all of old school. Who's in? Let's get 8 people. And I did not join, but Moss, maybe you can give people a rundown on what that experience
is. It's like fantasy football or fantasy baseball drafting of the entire old school set. So your but it's what do you call it? Snaked. So the number 1 pick doesn't come back until pick number 16. And then, and then they get 2 in a row and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know really what else to say. Like we're doing 40 card decks. The card pool got pretty gnarly, once you get down past, your standard.
Well, and you guys only did 2
hitters.
packs, right? Like you only did 30 card draft.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's slim pickings. A draft is typically 45 cards, 3 packs of cards.
Yeah.
So That's
Yeah, we kept it pretty trimmed down. And yeah, we're translating those drafts into 40 card decks. It's like I said earlier, it's proxy legal. And but the most fun part was in the Discord, the actual shit talking everybody's picks.
Yes.
And,
yeah. I didn't end up doing it. I was really on the fence. Like I wasn't sure if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so when Greg signed up for 8th, I was like, oh well, I'll just check out the Discord. So like I've just been creeping on that Discord channel.
Yeah.
It's
And
been
it was just
hilarious.
It was just
Dude,
a
it was
total
so
flame war.
entertaining.
It was just a flame war. So Dom was slowly assembling the infinite combo. He got Brain Geyser, he got a Disintegrate, and then he got a Mana Drain, and he got Basalt Monolith. And then the pick went all the way down. I'm like, nobody's paying attention to Dom's list. And it started coming all the way back around to me on the snake. And I'm like, okay, so seriously, we're just gonna as a field, we're just gonna let Dom assemble fucking infinite mana. Oh, and he'd gotten a rocket launcher. So I'm like, all right, I'll dive on the grenade. And I just hate drafted Power Artifact right in with the pick right before him.
Pure disrespect,
Yeah.
dude. Unprecedented.
Yeah. He had the plate.
Unbelievable.
He had the dinnerware set, the knife, the fork, but no steak.
Then again, I would say like, I don't know. Like what do you pick first? Do you go Monolith and then?
Oh yeah.
Once it goes over to you, then you just snag the Power Artifact next. Then you start picking the fireballs or whatever.
I think so. I mean, because Monolith actually does something.
Because if you're just showcasing it, right, like so clearly.
It's right, and he took the Monolith, and then it had to go all the way back down and then back up around. And Dom and I were both kind of toward the end of the draft, or the end of the first round, right? So he should have taken the Monolith, then it goes to Shane, who picks 2, then back to Dom, and then gotten the Power Artifact there.
Because then you can get so many other cards with, I mean, you can get Aladdin's Ring, you can get Mirror Universe, you can get
any X-Spell, every X-Spell.
And any X-Spell, Rocket Launcher, Disintegrate, Fireball.
Spell Blast, anything.
I feel like every time I've seen that guy in the last year, he's been on either a whole bag of mushrooms or a whole package of fucking like pot candies. Maybe his thought process got a little affected.
This is Dom.
Yeah, like he was like on a different planet at
The big kid? Yeah, he's on the level.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him at Lord's house, like his hair's all over the place.
Yeah. He kind of had that Doc Brown, that Dr. Emmett Brown hairstyle.
Dude, what I wouldn't give for that hairstyle. Are you kidding me? Some people have all the luck, you know what I'm saying?
He's like, check out my skull style.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, Dom works hard, parties hard, that's for sure.
Yeah. But the fucked up thing was like the next day, like after say like the EDH game we played,
yeah,
he was like to be on point. Like he remembered everything, you know, about the night before, except when he was in the moment. Like I was like, definitely the fucking tape stopped recording.
Yeah.
Not so.
You mean when he anime deaded your pro black creature and then you proceed?
And I get blamed for it. I got it.
Are you still going to do that? Are you still going to do that altar of an alien sucking Nicol Bolas's dick for me?
I forgot about that. Did I agree to that?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh my God.
Is this the game, Moss, that you added like an asterisk?
I did. Yeah, I gave
because
Charlie
you're like, well, Charlie won, but
well, the rules committee gave him a half of a victory for that.
A committee. It was just you.
Moss. A committee of Moss. Yeah.
The one-man committee, the Politburo.
And you're the one that totally went along with it and got balled by it. It's like
yeah. I didn't know that fucker had pro black. I didn't. What card was it? Minion of Leshrac?
Minion of Leshrac. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
Yeah.
Have you played any rotisserie draft games yet?
So I played Dom late last night. Like as soon as we finished, just sleeved up and got after it. He beat me 2-1. And just to set the picture here, my deck is creatureless. It borrows a concept from an old Danny Friedman deck from when I basically very first met him. It's Land Equilibrium, Mana Vortex. So how those cards interact is the Equilibrium is a 2 and 2 blue enchantment that your opponent you count the number of lands you have in play, and if your opponent has more than you, then when they go to play a land, they have to sacrifice a land. So you're able to then use the mana vortex, which is going to slowly make everybody sacrifice their lands. Then when you get down to 0, the vortex blows up, the equilibrium stays in play. At that point, I don't play another land, and my opponent can never do anything for the rest of the game because they can never play a land because I haven't played one. And then my win, and then my win con is Felden's Cane. So I got Dom game 1 with it, and it was like, this was after like 10 turns of draw, go, discard. He finally scooped. He figured it out, and he's like, "Oh wow, that's really impressive." And
so cool. Nice
job, dude. And then game 3, he got me, but he only had 3 cards in his deck when he finally got me. And then I played Tyler in 2 games today. We actually have to have a game 3 because he had to bug out at the last second there. But we're tied 1-1, and I got the same thing. I got him under the lock. So I'm like, holy shit, this deck might actually work even with one of these key cards. And then the rest of the deck is like the Abyss, Mind Twist, Balance, enchantment-based creature disruption like Paralyzed, Gaseous Form, Tormented, something. Just a bunch of weird fucking cards.
I gotta send you a pic. I built this deck about a month ago with Enchantress. So I'm running with Enchantress.
Was it Bug?
It's Bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Enchantress to get extra draws. And then, basically it's like how fast can you lock out your opponent?
Yep.
And then I would drop like a Black Vice or like Eureka out of Force of Nature or something.
Yeah.
Did you get a Armageddon to go with the?
Yep, I've got Armageddon as well.
Got Armageddon because that also works just the same, right?
Absolutely.
Like you play.
That's what I did.
Equilibrium Geddon.
That's what I did to Tyler. Is I had a Vortex already in play, and then I top decked Geddon and then just accelerated it by Armageddoning, and then he was just toast.
Is this based on your old school EDH experiences, Moss? Because this sounds like a.
It's kind of a miniaturized version of that. Yeah, I've never played Mana Vortex in EDH just because it's so purely hateful. Like we typically have a soft ban on Armageddon because it's just like it's such a long game anyways that just it's not fun. Mana Vortex is kind of a softer version, I guess, of that effect. But I've never
your company is kind of not that fun over that long of a period too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I turn into a pumpkin.
Vast diminishing returns.
I turn into a pumpkin at midnight anyways. So
do you have a way of getting, do you have like a Mox or something to get the Cane into play?
No, unfortunately. No, I can just play the Cane while I'm sacking down on the Vortex.
Let's say you land Equilibrium, then Geddon. You need to have the Cane in play already.
Yes. Or I can play one land at some point and then Cane right away. You know what I mean? And so, I'm giving them one land.
Wait, right. What are they going to do with one land?
But you can't tap the land for mana, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Wait.
Yeah.
If they have no lands and there's land Equilibrium in play, when you play your land, it's sacrificed immediately.
Correct. You cannot use the land.
You can't tap it for mana.
No.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's like, we can go to the videotape here. No, I thought it was like it's based off what I have. So like as the owner of the enchantment, I can play a land and then use it. And then my opponent may now play one land because I've played one.
Doesn't it count who has the least lands?
No, I don't think it works like that.
No more than you.
No. Here's the gatherer.
Oh, okay. No more than you.
All right. Here we go. Here's the ruling.
If an opponent who controls at least as many lands as you would put a land onto the battlefield, that player instead puts that land on the battlefield and then sacrifices it. So they can tap it for mana. That your opponent can, but it all has to do with your opponent. It's not symmetrical.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you could play out another land, and then they could play out another land.
Yeah, exactly.
So play a second land.
Yeah, so I play the land, play my Felden's Cane. They're not going to do anything with one land this late in the game usually. So, anywho,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, so there's some cool decks. Greg built a red-green heater with Channel Fireball, Lotus, a couple Moxen, and red-green guys. So that deck looks formidable. Edders is playing some kind of a Patriot stew. He's got Ancestral Recall. So I played Chains of Mephistopheles. I got that in my deck as well. And he ancestraled into the Chains. That was sick.
So
Is,
if you got to pick the first card, you pick
Greg
any
had the-
card in all of old school.
Greg had the number 1 pick and took Lotus. Slack had number 2 and took Soul Ring. And then Edders had 3 and took Ancestral. I would have taken probably Ancestral number 1.
No, you took ATOG number 1.
Oh, number 1? Okay.
I think it's probably. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think if it's Black Lotus or Soul Ring, but I think
I would
those are
take
right.
Soul Ring just because of the and like if you take Soul Ring, you can kind of build a deck around that by itself.
Sure.
Soul Ring is so busted.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's probably Soul Ring. Soul Ring might be better than Black Lotus in like a draft game.
So it's now like Cabal Ghoul, huh? That's your go-to. You don't
That's
take
your
the picks?
go-to, isn't it?
No, it's just the Cabal Ghoul over here, dude.
Yeah, just the bald ghoul.
It's just every game that you play against me, you become the Cabal Ghoul.
Oh, God.
Although Greg got Black Lotus and Ernie, right? That's
Yeah.
a combo.
That's nice too.
Turn 1 Ernie. That sounds great.
I mean, I've got
He
City in
got
the Bottle,
Channel
of
too,
course.
didn't he? Didn't he
You
get
got
Channel
and-
Fireball,
yeah,
Black
he's got
Lotus?
that, yeah.
He's gonna. I don't know. I have him for. Well, are you guys doing round robin?
Yeah, everybody plays everybody.
I would bet that he's gonna win.
Well,
Well, shit.
Damn.
that
You
sucks.
haven't heard all the other decks, right?
Does he have Mirror Universe?
No, I forget who does, but
I think Bob.
yeah, Bob went artifact heavy on a Titania Prison type deck.
But that's neat. Yeah, the decks look really neat. I wonder if there's a way of like cutting that Excel sheet and putting it into the file, or actually people took pictures of their decks too. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Odds are the games are going to be fucking awful,
Oh,
but-
mine have been tremendous, dude.
but it was enjoyable to follow from afar.
Yeah.
Especially since it took 2 days to complete.
Yeah, we were
Just people
hauling ass.
tagging each other in the Discord, being
yeah.
like, "Okay, it's your pick next."
Yep.
There was one moment where Moss dialed me up for a Skype game, and then Slack busts in to our room and is like, "Moss, it's your pick. What are you fucking around playing camp games?"
Yeah, he's like, this
Well,
shit
Moss
is irrelevant.
Moss is playing Standstill, hemming and hawing as I have just a swamp in play. Just the most disrespectful.
I'm
worst use of time.
I'm balls deep in the think tank over here.
But it's like you just managed to waste multiple people's time, because not only were you wasting my time, you were wasting like 7 other people's
Oh
time.
man, I was having a ball, baby.
You just became like a sink, like a black hole.
Yeah. Just a man of sink.
In other online play news, the kid Danny Friedman made the finals of, I don't know who held this tournament, maybe Dave. It was an Atlantic Rules tournament, and Danny made the finals playing the dreaded Twiddle Vault deck.
Atlantic meaning unrestricted recall and time vault and restricted strip.
Strip mine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so that deck is really impressive. It pretty much doesn't play any win conditions. So when they're going off, you truly have to sit through the whole thing, because they can't really prove to you, like, you're very, very likely dead. But since they can't like actually show it to you, you sort of have to sit through the whole process every time.
That sounds like a Danny deck.
And the question is could we unrestrict recall and time vault in Eternal Central? Would it be fine? Could you just strip that deck out? Do people want to sit through it? What's the big deal?
What is the deal?
What is the deal?
Danny
Coming
was
from
saying his
Carter, who likes
combos.
to play Stasis, dude.
So you're
Yeah.
positing you're just posing the question here to the floor then?
Well,
I would say-
I think that deck in that format is certainly a contender. I mean, it's as much as a contender as any other deck that you'd expect to face. You know, Shops, ATOG, the deck,
Sure.
Torak deck. I think when you play Atlantic, like, you could probably expect somebody to be playing Twiddle Vault, and you need a plan for it. It's really good. The question is could we just unrestrict both those cards here and have it also be fine with that deck as a player? in the format.
Danny
Oh,
was
it's
saying his
something-
combo is like, he's saying his combo is really fast, like turn 3 pretty consistently, which I feel like is probably too fast for old school.
Yeah, how would you disrupt it then? Just beside or other than stripping them out, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you unrestrict everything, then you have strip mine as another tool, right? Because like, let's say you're playing against Twiddle Vault in those rules. You would think that strip mine would be an extra tool to combat the deck, thereby weakening it a slight amount.
Doesn't it run all the Moxes and 4 Felwar, like all the artifact mana that
It's got a lot of ramp.
Yeah.
It's playing mana vaults, actually. I think 3 mana vaults, maybe some amount of Felwar stones. You're just trying to make, really broken plays early on. Cast a Howling Mine, then untap. You're playing 4 recalls to get all your twiddles back, so the mana vaults are really good there too. It's just a question. Like, if the deck is a contender in Atlantic, would we be okay with it also being a contender here, but maybe slightly weakened because of forced strip mine? Obviously, like Anka Mishra and Black Vice are also another big problem for the deck too, which is another really great EC strategy.
So the second card you unrestrict is Recall.
Well, both we have both Time Vault and Recall unrestricted. So the question is, could we just unrestrict both of those, pretty much open the floodgates?
Yeah, I think unrestricted Recall is problematic. You could try unrestricted Time Vault, but Recall is just a degenerate card.
I would like if I were to pick one of the two, I would also pick Time Vault because it's actually a permanent that you can interact with.
Yeah. Yeah, when I played with, I forget if I had 2 or 3 recalls, but when I played in that tournament in Seattle last fall, I mean, just the second recall is insane. And in that deck, it meant a lot of extra strip mines, so I'm just blowing up people's mana base even more and getting even further ahead with shops.
It would be kind of dope to be like the format with the most shit unrestricted.
Well,
just like a true Wild West type scenario. I don't know. The deck is really fucking
if
awful
you build
to sit
it,
across
Charlie
the
will
table
come.
from, but yeah, we'll see. We'll have Charlie give it a whirl. What do you think, Charlie? Is that your style?
No.
To watch your opponent fidget in their chair and cast you an awful fucking glare across the table? You're pretty sweet. You're a nice guy.
Like when I play him.
Charlie goes to time enough already, baby. We can't put him on this deck.
Yeah, we can't have that happening.
Shit, he'll be taking.
I get stuck in the tank on turn 2, and I just have 6 mana in my hand. Oh.
Yeah.
I know. Every time you don't play a turn 1 Savannah Lions, I go, oh, fuck me. This is going to go on forever.
Which is like twice ever. What the fuck?
Well, you did 2-0 me, so.
I did. I stepped on your neck.
The disrespect.
You're so sad. And then right after that, you're like, fuck that. I'm building a tog. You guys pushed me to it.
If there was one
spirit. We broke a spirit.
I don't know. If there was one tournament to try hard at, in my opinion, it was Lord's House.
How's the Golden Lord treating you over there, boss?
Well, I'm putting it in my I put it in my sideboard of the deck in homage to our Swedish brethren who keep a shark in their sideboard if you win it.
Yeah.
And I think I'll probably continue that tradition from here on out.
Because in your own words, you don't know how to sideboard anyways. So what's that 15th card for? I mean,
except for sheer bragging rights, obviously.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, shit, I don't know what I was going to say. I'm kind of running out of steam here.
I thought you were going to click me out. All right, Charlie, you're done.
All right,
all right, Charlie, we're just going to head and boot you out.
Moving to the round of 3, you're out.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Danny for Quarantine Cup. So he's playing old school. He and Nathan are on a team. He's playing old school. Nathan's on middle school.
Oh, that's right.
And so Danny had a deck where his win condition was Tormod's Crypt. So his only win condition was just like Tormod's Crypt you and then Time Twister and then get everything back and just like keep going
What
and
the
basically mill you out. It was disgusting. I did end up getting there against him, but it was a thing of beauty. Like I was just sitting there waiting for some kind of win condition, and when he drops Tormod's Crypt, I'm like, oh fuck, this is unbelievable that you're doing this to me, Danny.
Yep, Danny just comes up with new ways to disrespect his opponents every day.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like he bolts out of bed like, oh, that would be even more insufferable.
he just wants to share his grumpiness with the world.
Yeah,
He does.
fuck?
he does play at a reasonable pace, though. You got to say that about Danny. It's like he plays at a reasonable pace. He, takes his turns in a reasonable fashion.
Yeah.
So I respect that, even though his decks, are miserable.
Imagine Charlie trying to play those decks. My beard would be fully grown back in by the time we finish that fucking game.
Jesus. I'm gonna build some sort of fucking dirtle deck just to play you next turn.
Yeah.
And I just gonna wait.
Shit, when's that going to be?
Play
2022?
it again.
I'm gonna have to
Just
put on a
compare-
fucking hazmat suit to play you then.
Yeah, I maintain that I won the last old school tournament of all time. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Carter was champion at the first and only Lord's house.
That would be so sad. I had so much fun.
It'll happen again. Maybe it'll happen in the summer, so we won't have to worry about coronavirusing each other. But
Next
it'll
summer.
happen again. Yeah,
Mhm.
next
Yeah.
summer. Exactly, not this
Yeah.
summer. Next summer.
Yeah, maybe.
I know that the Kumite event was postponed, so I get to hold on to this championship belt for a little bit longer. Hold on, I'll go
man.
grab.
Have you been wearing it?
This is
Oh, I thought you were wearing it this whole time.
Moss revealing his pasty white milkshakes there. Doesn't
Yeah.
even
You're
honor
just
us
wearing
with wearing a pair of.
t-shirt.
Nah, you
And
well, you
wear
got
all
to you got to
jeans.
take care. We got to take care of the people, the Patreon patrons.
Oh my god.
Donate when you can, people. Times is
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. Times are hard, man.
I
All right.
love how you have that belt with it easy.
Yeah, was that on your bed? Do you sleep with that at night?
No, it was
on the
in-
shelf.
It
It's
was
on
in
the
his
shelf next to it.
It was in his closet. He has it next to his jeans and stuff. He's like, "Do I want to put this on today?"
Oh man.
Just walk around the house as the
It's the
champion.
perfect accoutrement when I go out for a walk through Desolation Row here.
You keep it polished up nice too. I could
Oh,
see
hell
that.
yeah.
I could see your reflection in it. Yeah.
Spit shine, baby.
Well, gentlemen, this was an absolute pleasure. I hope you all are doing well and continue to be well, especially you, Charlie, who are so much farther away than the
Yeah, man.
rest of us. Keep
Yeah,
definitely
not at
keeping
ground
you in our
zero.
thoughts.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh hell yeah.
And ideally, I think I'd like to try to do bi-weekly casts like this. So we'll get the ball rolling again and keep it going.
Get the ball rolling. We'll get my lighting better.
Yeah, we'll get him out of the dungeon.
No, it's
Um,
okay. I don't have to see your full face. It's just kind of like half like Dark Man.
Yeah, you look pretty good at this sliding, Carter. I gotta
Wait,
say.
what do you mean good? Because you can see, dude.
That's
Come
not the
on,
first
man.
time he's heard that. Let's put it that way.
Oh, jeez. Come on, guy.
Yeah.
So disrespectful.
Yeah, I probably only make love to you at nighttime.
Yeah, in the wee small hours.
Oh, jeez. Speaking of wee small.
All right, I'm gonna go look for my pants. I think the laundry's just
I
about
knew
done.
it, dude.
All right, gentlemen. It was an absolute pleasure. Talk to you guys again soon.
Yeah, peace.
Good
Later.
to see you guys again. Yes.